So hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be going to Gillette Castle, and then we're going to be driving out to Old Saybrook Point and Fenwick Island. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what you're going to see before you see the clips. William Gillette is the one who built Gillette Castle, and he was born right around just before the Civil War, and he was an actor, and he is very famous for portraying, he was in other silent movies and talkies when they first came out, but the thing he's most known for is portraying the original Sherlock Holmes, both on stage and in the earliest movies, some of the silent and some of the talkies. When you look at Sherlock Holmes, and he's wearing the deerstalker hat and the curved pipe and the violin and the what's the other habit? Oh, the elementary My Dear Watson. Those are all things that were actually originated by William Gillette, and the author of Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, liked the ideas that he put into it so much that he incorporated them into his written character after that. So William Gillette, later on in life, he did marry when he was in his early 20s. He and his wife were married only 6 years, and she passed away from a ruptured appendix. He never remarried. He helped raise his sister's daughters, and they eventually inherited the castle because he never remarried, never had any children or anything. But this castle is built up on top of what was called Seven Hills. It overlooks the Connecticut River, and it was finished in 1919. There are 2 Tiffany lamps or lights in the house itself, which you'll see at least one of them. He also was very much into railroads, and there was a miniature railroad. When I say miniature, you were able to ride it, and I will insert a picture in the videos. It was a steam train that ran around the property. There were 3 miles of track, including a tunnel and some trestles and little rock bridges to go over. He had Helen Hayes, if you're familiar with her. She was a very good friend of his ever since childhood. And she would come up and bring her son from Hawaii 5-0, James MacArthur. He would come as well. There is a picture of him riding the train when he was a kid. So anyway, just so you know ahead of time what you're going to be looking at, they do not allow video inside the castle itself, so I was able to take pictures, but I will put captions to tell you what it is you're looking at. And so with that, we'll get started with our video today. Today we are at one of my favorite places. This is Gillette Castle on the Connecticut River, and got my ticket. So let me turn it around, you can see the castle before we go in. That is one of the train trestles. There was 3 miles of track that he had set up through here. Over there is where Grand Central Station is. This rock pavilion was Grand Central Station, where his railroad took off. And over here you can see the Connecticut River. And there is the ferry that crosses the Connecticut River. There is the Connecticut River, and right there is the ferry that goes across it. You can see way down there is a marina, and up here is the castle.
See the ferry coming across. There's a little car on it.
Mm-hmm.
The harbor over there, well, there's many harbors.
That is the gargoyle that looks like a dragon. This is Saybrook Point, and this is Long Island Sound right here. We're going to be going over to the island of Fenwick, which is where Katharine Hepburn used to live. Her family had a house there until the 1937 hurricane.
Should have brought my binoculars.
Do you want me to go get them for you? So that is Long Island Sound out that direction. This is the Connecticut River. It's the mouth of the Connecticut River. And Gillette Castle that we just went to is up that direction. Quite a ways, but up that direction, about 14 miles. So the next place we're going to go after Old Saybrook Point is Fenwick Island. Now, if you are familiar with Katharine Hepburn, her family had a home on Fenwick Island, and in 1937 she was contemplating a marriage to Howard Hughes, and she had also been offered a spot in the Philadelphia story, and she was reading over the script for that. She went to the family home in 1937 during the summertime, and there was a massive hurricane that came up the coast. It was so famous, it was called the Long Island Express. It did massive damage. There were like thousands of houses damaged, like 700 or 800 people died in this hurricane when it came up, and her house was one of them. We won't actually see her house because it is privately owned, but it is on Fenwick Island, and it's right along the water. And the night of the hurricane, she and her mother and her brother and a family friend actually tied a rope around their staircase and climbed out the window as the house was getting washed out to sea and destroyed. The only thing that was pretty much left was a bathtub that was found on the beach the next morning. So the house has been rebuilt, but like I said, it's on private property and they don't allow public access to it. But that is also on Fenwick Island as well. So I hope you enjoy this segment. If the sea gets rough here, this could wash right
Yeah.
off the road.
I'm sure it does happen. Did the wrong thing. I want to get that out of my way. This is obviously where the boat goes. A boat goes, huh? It's not a drawbridge.
Like it lives.
Yeah.
It's just where the water flows. sailboat out there. Man, these are pretty. This would be pretty to have a house along here. Look out on that all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure they're expensive.
Oh, I'm sure they are too.
Insurance will probably astronomical because you're next to the sea. I bet it's tough in the winters up here.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine when Hurricane Sandy came in here?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and a lot of these houses were probably washed away. If her house was washed away and it was on the same stretch, you know, in the 1937 hurricane, a lot of these houses are probably were long gone. Now, so Dave and I are sharing a seafood platter. He's eating whole belly clams and calamari. And we got french fries, and there's a pickle spear and different sauces, and then I've got shrimp and french fries. So, and I already took a bite of the shrimp, and it was really good. And you had your whole belly clam? And
I've already eaten 2 of them.
Dave says the whole belly clams are good.